G'day guys, how you going? I'm dgrayfee, but you can call me Dylan, and I'm here to bring you the Adelaide Bold Strikers Week 1 match for the Pokemon Masters United Showdown League against Curse Body and the Philadelphia Solgaleo. I have to give a big shout out to Curse because they weren't the ones who actually drafted this team. The original drafters dropped out, and they've come in and filled in the position. And they were able to build a team in only a couple of days to face me, so huge thank you to Curse for doing that for me. So I actually had a week 1 battle. And continuing on with my Curse love, they have a YouTube channel that'll be down in the description below, so if you could go and check them out, maybe give them a subscribe, that'd be absolutely fantastic. But anyway, the battle itself, Curse brought a Mega Lopunny, Cradily, Clefable, Darmanitan, Mudsdale, and Electros. They also had Komodo, Fortress, Jellicent, Mew, and Drapion that they could have used as well. But I've brought a pretty stock standard team, mixed attacking Tapu Bulu with the Life Orb, Choice Scarf, Hydreigon with special attacks and U-turn. Dodrio is a dual Scarfer, my second Choice Scarf user, with knockoff Brave Bird and Baton Pass, and just Facade just in case I got paralysed or toxic. Victini is Special Teeny with an Expert Belt and U-turn for a bit more momentum. Vaporeon, standard max defense, Scald Wish, Heal Bell, Toxic, and Hippowdon is max defense as well, with Earthquake, Whirlwind, Stealth Rock, and Slack Off. So pretty standard stuff here, but looking at their team, I just assumed that it would be I was thinking maybe an Adamant Mega Lopunny because my team's not that fast. Especially defensive, Cradily, physically defensive, Clefable, Scarf or Band, Darmanitan, maybe a Band or maybe Assault Vest, Mudsdale, but I thought Electros would probably be the more likely Assault Vest user, so maybe a Banded Mudsdale and Scarf Darmanitan. So, with no hazard removal on their team, I decided that my best lead would be Hippowdon, so I can just get up my Stealth Rocks. So, we lead Hippowdon, they lead Clefable, and we're just going to trade rocks here. And then I decided to switch out into Vaporeon because it takes a Moonblast better. Now, something key to note here is that 1, Clefable took no Sandstorm damage, meaning that it's Magic Guard Clefable rather than Unaware Clefable. And the damage that did to Vaporeon is more than what a standard max HP, max defense Clefable would do. I found out after the battle, after doing some more calcs and actually finding out what Curse sets were, my Pokemon had their IVs deleted. The EVs were still there, but the IVs weren't. So all my calcs throughout this match were off, and that did dictate how I made some of my moves, but you'll find out how the battle turned out because of this. So I was thinking that this Clefable might have been a max HP, max defense, or max special defense Life Orb Clefable because it wasn't a max special attack Life Orb. The calc did show that it didn't do that much damage. So I just thought that it was maybe just like a mixed defensive and offensive Clefable sort of thing is a bit of a surprise. But anyway, I'm just going to set up a Wish here on this turn, and Clefable's going to fire off a Thunder Wave, and so I'm just going to try to heal off that paralysis. Luckily I don't get paralyzed, and I'm able to catch the Wish back. So Electros has come out here, and an Assault Vest Electros actually does a fair bit to my team because I've got Hydreigon and Victini special attackers. Dodrio, its attacks are resisted, its main stab is resisted, and Hippowdon can't actually touch this. Tapu Bulu was my only answer to this Pokemon if it was an Assault Vest variant. So I decided that I needed to take a risk. I knew I could live one Thunderbolt with Vaporeon or a Thunder Punch. So I decided that I would try to Toxic this thing. But it reveals that it's actually a setup Electros with Coil. So that made things pretty interesting. But now that it's Toxic, I know that it's not... It's Toxic, so it's not as much of a threat. And because it's used a status move, it can't be a Assault Vest variant. So it's not as threatening to my team, I feel. But being a coil set, I'm expecting Thunder Wave, Drain Punch, and a coverage move of some form. So I figured that my best switch in is to go out into Hippowdon here, and I can eat up whatever hit he decides to throw out, especially if it was an electric type move, but it's just going to set up another coil here. So I'm just going to Whirlwind it out to remove those stat boosts, and then it can take some Stealth Rock damage on the way back in. So as you can see, that Drain Punch did laughable damage even though I didn't have any IVs. So that was a plus side for sure, and it just goes to show how good Hippowdon is. But sitting out here in front of a Cradily now, that's pretty scary for me, because if it's running a grass type move, especially if it was running Grass Knot, that could take Hippowdon out right here. So I decided I would go into Hydreigon here, because it might not have been as easy a prediction. And as you can see, it's just going to fire off a Ancient Power there. I didn't want to send out Tapu Bulu against this because it could be running Sludge Wave, and I didn't want Vaporeon or Hippowdon to face it because of the grass typing, and because it's rock typing, I didn't want Dodrio and Victini out there. So it was definitely my best interest to go for Hydreigon, but in saying that, because it's in the sand, it gets boosted special defense. So I do want to get my Tapu Bulu in, but I want to try to get it in on what would be a safer switch. So I'm just going to go for a U-turn here. If he switches out, I can gain momentum. If he stays in, I know that they're probably just going to go for an Ancient Power again or something like that. So Tapu Bulu is pretty safe to go to here. We're going to eat that Ancient Power up very well. And here's where having no IVs messed me over again, because that U-turn damage suggested that it was a max HP, max defense Cradily, when in fact it wasn't. Which meant I thought I had to go for a Wood Hammer to take this out, rather than going for Horn Leech. I don't know what the exact calc was, and it might not have changed anything, but still, if there was a chance that I could have had a guaranteed Oko on Cradily with Horn Leech, I would have gone for that rather than taking recoil damage with Wood Hammer here. So I'm just going to fire off the Wood Hammer, and we do take it out, thankfully. And now the Electros is going to come back out, and I took a risk here. I made the assumption that because it was a coil set, that it would either be max HP, max attack, or max HP, max special defense, maybe, or max attack, max speed, perhaps, or some speed creeping there. But I didn't expect it to have any defense investment, which meant that at max HP, Tapu Bulu was a guarantee one-hit KO from this range of health on the Electros, meaning I could take the risk in case it was rocking Acid Spray or another poison type move or a fire type move. So fire off the horn leech and it doesn't kill. And at this stage I am extremely worried, because if that Electros is running the coverage move and can take out my Tapu Bulu, this thing is my main offensive threat to this team. It's in particular Clefable, because it's a role to take out a max HP, max defense, bold natured Clefable. With grassy terrain, with Warhammer, if my IVs were correct. But we're going to show that the Electros is actually going to try to set up another coil, and so I'm able just to take it out with Horn Leech there without a problem. So they're going to send out the Darmanitan, which is fair enough, and I'm just going to switch straight into Hippowdon. I've got no reason not to. And they're just going to U-turn out and go into the Mega Lopunny here. So I'm predicting that it's going to lead with a Fake Out or High Jump Kick or Ice Punch, one of those three moves. Don't really have a reason not to stay in with Hippowdon and just click Slack Off, because I can heal off any damage that it does to me. So the Fake Out got fired off, and when I did the calc, this was a Jolly Mega Lopunny, and I got a little bit lucky here, because with 0 IVs in its defense, the roll, whilst it's a different roll, the damage that was done to Hippowdon with Mega Lopunny would have been the same if I had all my IVs. Like the calc could have quite easily fit into either calculations. So I wasn't too badly put off here. For instance, expecting an Adamant Mega Lopunny rather than Jolly, that kind of stuff. But we're just gonna trade some moves here. If they've gone for Ice Punch, I'm just gonna slack off the damage, and then I'm gonna fire off an Earthquake here. Once they go for High Jump Kick, able to do a fairly decent chunk of damage, and now I'm just going to go for Slack Off again, hope I don't get critted, which I don't. Slack off the damage back, and then they're going to switch out into Mudsdale here, whilst I slack off back to full health. Now I'm going to switch out to Vaporeon, because it is the best Pokemon to handle this Mudsdale. And here was where, this was the main calc where I got really messed over. That damage showed Adamant max attack, or Adamant with some attack and a boosting item of some form, like a Choice Band or a Earth Plate or something like that. So I wasn't quite sure what the item was. I wasn't sure what the set was. I just assumed Adamant max attack, and then maybe some max HP or some speed, whatever. So looking at that damage, I knew I couldn't leave two hits to fire off a Wish and then get it back, because I wasn't running Protect. So I decided here just to go for a Scald, get some chip damage. I know it would activate Stamina, but if I could get the burn, that would be fantastic, because that would pretty much ruin this Pokemon for the rest of the battle, unless Clefable was running Heal Bell. So I'm just going to do that. We take the Earthquake, and I fire off the Scald, and that damage there was, with my calculations, it was a max Spit F, max HP, Assault Vest, Mudsdale. And I couldn't work out for the life of me how that could be possible, because Mudsdale, to do the damage it was doing, it had to be Adamant max attack. But it had to be Assault Vest to live the hit like it did. So this really, really confused me here. But I figured if they're just going for Earthquake, I needed to get something that could handle this Mudsdale better. So I switched into Dodrio and was able to not take any damage from Earthquake due to it being a flying type. And here I need to knock off this Assault Vest, because nothing on my team beats it. with a couple of defense boosts. Tapu Bulu can't take it out, and with the rest of my team either special attackers or not really hitting it very hard on the physical side, need to get rid of this assault vest. So I knew he'd be rocking a rock type move of some sort, so I decided that I'm just going to sack off the Dodrio here, get rid of the assault vest, because I know Hydreigon's still got its choice scarf to outspeed the Mega Lopunny, and I know that Hippowdon can take on Mega Lopunny 1v1. So I'm just going to sack off Dodrio here, fire off the knockoff, get rid of the assault vest, but we get really lucky here and we dodge the rock slide. So a bit of hacks in our favour. But anyway, I'm going to switch out into my Hippowdon because I know I can take it on 1v1. I can live that rock slide no problem. And I'm just going to phase it out with Whirlwind here, get rid of those defense boosts, take an Earthquake without any hassles, and we get probably the best switch in we could possibly have, and that's Darmanitan. So it takes extra rocks damage. I know Hippowdon can take it on 1v1. I wasn't quite sure what set this Darmanitan was, whether it was Choice Scarf, Flame Plate, or Choice Band, because the U-turn damage wasn't solid on either Scarf or Choice Band. And then, but judging by this Flare Blitz damage, it was a Choice Scarf user, and it just, to me, it looked like he was getting max rolls, or really high rolls anyway, but it was just the simple fact that I had low IVs. But Darmanitan's going to take it out with Flare Blitz, and my Hippowdon's still at a pretty decent amount of health. But I'm just going to switch out now, sack off the Vaporeon, take a Moonblast, and now I'm going to take a risk here and go into my Tapu Bulu. So, if this is a max HP, max defense Clefable like I was expecting, I had about a 50-50 roll to take it out with a Life Orb Woodhammer in grassy terrain. And I decided that was a risk I could take, because even if Tapu Bulu got taken out, I could just revenge kill with something else without a problem. So I decide here that I'm just going to fire off a Woodhammer, and we actually take out the Clefable. It wasn't a max HP, max defense. Tapu Bulu is going to take itself out though, so we double down. And now here I'm just going to go out into Hydreigon. I know whatever gets sent out, I can kill with a Draco Meteor, or in my head I could, with the 0 IVs. I think it was a roll to kill Mudsdale. So we're going to take the fake out. We know we can live that. And I'm just going to fire off a Draco Meteor here, take out Mega Lopunny, and then we're just going to risk it here, go for another Draco Meteor. If we get the crit, we win. If not, Mudsdale is just going to take us out, and that's okay because it gives Victini free switch in, and then I can just finish it off with an Energy Ball, and with that we win the battle. So it was a very interesting match because my calcs weren't making any sense throughout the whole match. We got lucky a few times there, but I was really happy with how I kept the momentum. Victini didn't really get much of a chance to shine, but that's okay in my opinion, because the others did the job just as fine. Tapu Bulu showed why it's such a monster, being able to one-hit KO that Clefable. I think it was about 120 defense and max HP. So a bulky Clefable still got O-code from 0 IVs, Tapu Bulu, so that just shows how good this Pokemon is. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. As I said, Curse Body's details will be down in the description below, so you can check them out on all the social medias. Let me know what you thought of the battle and how I went, whether I made any really good plays or any really bad plays. Let me know. I'm always happy to hear your feedback. But with that, guys, I'm going to stop my rambling, and I'll catch you all around like a Rissole. See yas.